We're used to being in the jungle. We're trained that, hey, if your buddy gets shot next to you, which is going to happen, yeah, they're sad, but they're able to deal with it, right? It's part of war. They know that's coming. But they didn't tell you that when your buddy was walking next to you, he stepped on a noose and they lift him up in the air and swing him into a bamboo point and run right through him. They didn't tell you that. So when that happens, right, you're like, oh, you know, you don't want to be the next one. See, so it wears on you a little bit, right? It wears on you a little bit. Hey, so, go ahead, man.
Virgil, now we've seen Andre Berto. He had a shoulder injury. We've seen it in All Access. We've seen him against Soto Carras. We've seen the pep talk you gave him. You said to him, you got to beat him with one arm. Now, in contrast to Manny Pacquiao saying he had a shoulder injury, how would you compare it? Would you say that was a factor in the Mayweather Pacquiao fight? Was it as severe as a shoulder injury? Because Freddie Roach never talked to Manny Pacquiao about the injury like you talked to Berto.
You mean in the corner?
Yeah,
I don't think he ever told him he had an injury. I mean, if there's some tape out there that he came back to the corner and said he had an injury, I mean, I haven't seen it, but I knew Andre had an injury because I saw when it happened. And he no longer used the arm the rest of the fight. He couldn't. I mean, he had completely tore, it was shoulder and also tore whatever connected to the clavicle and also in the area near. So the injury came from here to there. Like he never even thought he would fight again. He says, I'm laying in bed and I have absolutely no use of my arm after I had the surgery, so I don't even know if I can come back. I got to use my left hand for everything. So mentally, I'm going through all these things. So sometimes, you know, when you go through these things, you say, well, it must be for a reason, you know. And we all know that the will and the drive and the determination of all men in certain circumstances could surface at the right time. So, you know, what makes a mom lift the car off a kid, you know? What makes them do that? We don't know. What makes a man run into a burning house and save somebody that's not his blood, but he knew him as a nice mate? You know, he didn't think about it, right? Mm-hmm. He just reacted, right? And that's what I'm saying. But if it was a fireman there, he would first entertain what he was taught before he entered that house, because he knows the dangers waiting on him. If he's going into this house to save a life, he knows what could happen. But a man who hasn't been trained in that, he just goes because he doesn't know. He just knows there's somebody in there that needs to get out, right? So the human mind is remarkable. The human drive is remarkable. And if he's driven to win, then
adrenaline,
his adjustments, and manages his adrenaline and manages his cortisol release. His adjustments could be el pronto, right on time, you know, his instincts. And, you know, you get him in condition to be able to put out, and you get him in condition to be able to take, you know, and we've seen him take under some real tough circumstances. You know, not many people have fought a fight with one arm from the second round on up and go into the last round with the fight tied. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, that's a proven guy, so to speak. You know, his tolerance for anything negative that can happen in the ring, you know, it's not going to sway. He's going to get through it some kind of way. It was like the Guerrero fight. He couldn't see him. Had to bring him close so he could feel him and know where he's at, but never entertain quitting, see? So it's good to go into a fight like that knowing that you're going into a fight with a guy who has those attributes.
Hey, Virgil, one of the criticisms of Andre is that he takes a lot of punches. He gets hit a lot. Mm-hmm. Has that been something you and he have worked together on for this fight?
He came to me at 30 years old. Okay, so when you come at 30 years old, there's only so many things that you can teach a fighter at that point, you know. And the first thing is that, as well as he knows, is that, you know, it's not good, you know, to get hit from. But as I said, some of his health issues, he had no choice really but to take some punches. but you can't make him a defensive whiz at that stage in his career. What you have to do is teach him the position. He has to be in the right position at the right time to eliminate that, because defense is not slipping punches, and it's position. You're in the right position. It's a game of inches and tenths of a second, so you have to be in the right position and know what position you're in at all times, and that's kind of where we work, the right positions. So certainly it's been addressed, and it's probably been addressed more than anything else. I've been pleased, with the camp, and trust me, I didn't bring in no easy sparring partners. I brought in guys who were hungry, who were top amateurs, and anybody that's been in boxing, Smitty knows, you bring a top amateur into camp, they're always in shape, they're always fighting tournaments and stuff, and when they turn pro, they all start fast. They all fight 100 miles an hour. So, we had that going on, and he had to overcome a lot of things. That particular dynamic.
Have you thought about? Have you gotten more confident in your fighter as the camp has worn on? Have you seen his confidence rise?
I've always been confident in him because, like I said, I've been on Andre Berto since he was 10 years old. So I saw his career. He was in that 2004 class that Andre Ward was in, Duran was in. So, we all knew each other. So it wasn't one time that he was in the amateurs that if he wasn't number one, he wasn't below number two. So he's always been at the top, you see. So his mindset is that of a winner. He's always been at the top, regardless of what weight class he's been in. I think when they changed the weight classes in the amateur game, I think that hurt his chances of medaling in the Olympics because, they took away 47 and they made it 42, I believe, 41. And then the next weight class after that was 54. So you're talking about 13-pound difference. So, yeah, he probably could have made 41, but you're in a tournament. You have to hold it daily. And to ask him to hold it like that, it would have been disastrous. So, he's been there. He knows what it takes to be a winner. And this is his opportunity. You don't let an opportunity like this go by without giving it your best.
What about Floyd kind of watching him and spying on him? What do you think of something like that you heard today about he knows he didn't train?
That's psychological warfare, as long as I know what he did, And, I mean, it's fight week, so what difference does it make if he didn't train? That's my call. Right? And if I say don't train today, there's a reason for it. I'm happy with what I see. So it doesn't matter. I mean, why would we go to the gym and not train? So I even told Floyd up there, I said, whoever you got spying, they must be betting against you or something because they didn't come back with the real deal, So you have to make sure that whoever comes back and gives you the information is somebody who's trustworthy of that information and not thinking, well, this is his last fight, so let me see what I can get out of it. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know what prompted him to say that. It's a small issue. As of now, the fight's, 3 days away?
No, you're going to try to stop him. You look at that's the way to go with Floyd.
Win, no. It's like I said earlier, win, because there's forces out there that don't want to see Floyd tie the record. It's just the way it is. So I'll guarantee you this, if that fight is like this, where he might get a 1.9, I guarantee you he won't get it. Because they don't want to see him tie this record, right? Just like Larry Holmes and Michael Spinks, okay? They don't want to see him tie it. When Larry Holmes said he can't carry my jockstrap, he was going to have to knock Michael Spinks out to win that fight. So there's forces out there, trust me, that don't want to see him win that fight. And that fight is neck and neck close. There's some strange stuff that probably can happen, trust me.
Do you think this is it for Floyd? Do you think he'll stop at 49 if he gets it?
I think so. He's been saying it. I mean, look, he's got his children, and those are things that fighters really must think about, and I think he gives a considerable thought. I mean, he's got his children, right? He's coming off a huge payday with Pacquiao, down to what would be a lifetime payday for all of us, right? And just the difference in that, right? So who's out there for him to get back up to 200 million? There's no sense in doing it anymore. It's like you deflated the tire, but I'm not going to stop here on the freeway. I'm just going to ride this tire till I get to the filling station, So I think he feels like, hey, look, got a flat tire, filling station is a half mile away. Hey, I'm not going to sit out there. I'm going to get to that filling station. So he fulfilled his contract, which I think is admirable of him. Nobody can say he didn't do that. There's no reason. When I saw Roger today. That's no joke, and that's what a lot of people don't see. They don't see the aftermath of boxing, and I've seen it time and time again, and it's not pretty. If you ask some of the family members who have to live through that, I just finished reading an article on Leon Spinks and what he's going through right now. If you're a family member, a loved one, a child, a wife, a mother, and here's a man that's not really that old, and he's going through all these changes and stuff, that's what boxing does to you. And I think he wants to enjoy his life. Wouldn't you be afraid if you had $500 million and then they say, hey, do one more tour for me? It's in Afghanistan. You would say, no, I'm going to enjoy my money, right? Because I think he realizes now, no matter what he does, he'll never get the credit for what he's done. So when you come to grips with that, I'll never satisfy you. You'll never embrace me, so to speak. So why should I do it anymore? Put my health on the line just to please you and make you happy and get. He's a Hall of Fame shoe-in, right? He, as I've said many times, people have had their differences with him saying, well, I'm the best ever and everything else. I don't get into that. I'm better than Ali. I don't get into that. But I think it would be healthy to say that after 35 he was. If you name me somebody after 35 that was effective as he is, I think he's in a class by himself. So in every fighter's era, this is nothing new. It goes all the way back. In every fighter's era, this element exists. Who was the best and who was the best in this era, who was the best in that era. It's getting so redundant now. Now you have mythical matchups, stuff like that. I mean, these guys did it in their time. Who's to say, okay, well, if Koufax pitched against Roof, he would have struck out, or if Mays would have hit against Bob Feller, that's just the dynamics of sports, because there's only so much you can talk about, so you got to keep creating things. Now it's like you said, okay, you wanted me to fight Pacquiao. Now we're hearing, he's Golovkin, and things like that. And even the fighters, some of the great fighters are saying things like I heard Marvin Hagler say, well, I fought Duran. Duran fought me, so he should fight Golovkin. Well, yeah, but Floyd don't get up to 200 pounds, okay? Duran didn't have no choice, all right? Because he wrecked his body so much, he couldn't stay down in that zone. That's on Duran. And I wouldn't even mention it because he almost beat you see? So, it's, he almost beat you, so you should even brought that up. But it's always something in boxing, So you just have to go with it. If you're in the sport, the best sport in the world, but you have to go with it.